Welcome, sports fans, to the Gryphon Nation Football Show of the Week. We are so very, very blessed to be here today talking about last week's game with the Rogers Heritage War Eagles and then our upcoming game with the Hot Springs Trojans. You know, before we get started, I want to give a special shout-out to the man behind the scenes. Roger Robinson does a great job of putting this on. It's on the Gryphon Nation YouTube channel as well. So hope you guys go out there and watch it each week and enjoy the show, because we try to make it fun, lively, but we want to really put the Gryphons into the spotlight. Next week we'll have some players on here, and we'll start bringing some players on to highlight as well. So look forward to that. Last week we played Rogers Heritage, our second trip to Rogers in the last 3 weeks. And I tell you what, you would be so proud of our kids from the time that they got here early in the morning, from the time we got on the bus ride up. The kids acted right, did right. We had a great walkthrough and a meal at First Baptist Church in Rogers for about 2.5 hours. We were watching film, relaxing a little bit before our pregame meal. The kids acted very, very focused. At Rick Coton's restaurant, the manager came up and said, "We've never had a team this well behaved." And then we went out there and played our best game in school history. And so just very, very blessed. Let's go to the offensive side, and let's talk about some of the keys for the game on offense and some of the top players.
Yeah, Coach, just to get hit on what you just said, our kids were focused from the time they got here to the time we played the football game until the time we got home. Proud of those kids, or our kids, for that. So offensively, Coach, from start to finish, I was really proud of our kids. We overcame adversity. We had like 4 or 5 touchdowns called back, and that's a lot in any football game that you play in, right? So passing yards, we had over 193 yards. We had Chase Forte was 14 for 21. Rushing, Coach, this is where the biggest stat for us right now is 305 rushing yards on the ground. Coach, I don't know if that's a school record, but I'm proud of our kids. I'm proud of the offensive line, the backs, the receivers. Everybody did their job. Players of the week. You got Martrell Martin on the offensive line, which it could have went to the whole entire offensive line, but Martrell Martin. You got Jayson Robinson. You have Luther Tucker. You have Devin Floyd. They all did well. They all got 305 yards. And then you have the receivers. So we have this position group called the C position group.
The flanker.
The slot position. And so I believe all three of them, they all three deserve it. So you have Willie Dortch, you have Ezell Baker, and then you have Felix Hines, and I think they did their job.
And all the receivers did well, but, those three really made big plays when we need them.
Yes.
All right, and so let's talk. We'll go just kind of tag on the offensive side. It wasn't a school record. Okay. Last year against Heritage, we rushed for 450 yards.
Okay.
So we've rushed for a lot of yards on Heritage in the last 2 years. Coach, let's talk a little bit about the defensive performance at Rogers Heritage.
Well, defensively, we held them to 6 points. Started out a little shaky. First play of the game, we give up 30. You called timeout. We got the defense over there and chewed their butts a little bit, and we kind of settled in. It's crazy when you watch a football game, and the casual fan doesn't know it, but it's the little plays here and there, the hidden plays. They go for it on the opening series on 4th and 3, and it was a high snap. Quarterback bobbled it, and we ended up tackling him for a loss, and it's a turnover on downs.
Right.
We go down and score. Now they're playing behind, and they never recovered from that. So, they get that first down right there or go on to score, could have been like last year. Could have been 30-29 game. So, that's why, I tell our kids, don't ever get too high, don't ever get too low. You got to stay consistent. Because it's little things throughout the game that make a difference, and you never know what those little plays are. But as far as our performance, we had a few sacks. We didn't get our first sack of the season last year until we played at Jonesboro.
Week 7 or
week 8. Yeah. Week 8 was the very first sack of the season, and we only had one going into the Fort Smith Northside last ball game. Last year we had 3 the other night. Jay-Sean Edgiston led our defensive line. He led us in tackles the other night with 9 total. And Kendrick Hill, sophomore, came in pivotal moment in the third quarter, or second quarter, and got a big sack. right before half. And then Derek Murdoch was our outstanding linebacker. Didn't have a whole lot of tackles. They didn't really run at him much, but he was productive. Made a lot of tackles in the pass game. They tried to test him through a lot of stuff where he was. And then Derek Palmer was our outstanding defensive back. He had 2 interceptions, had a punt return for a touchdown, which they kicked a line drive punt right to him. He caught it on the run. He's by far one of our fastest guys. That advantaged us. And then he had another one that, he picked off on the sideline, but it was out of bounds. So, very good performance.
Well, very proud of our defense. Disappointed that they wouldn't get a shutout.
Just a little bit.
Well, let me tell you, we had a shutout going into late in the game, but we had the game in hand. We wanted to put our kids in. We put a lot of number 2s and number 3s in. So, but obviously, every defense coordinator in America that's watching this, they're all saying the same thing. We wanted the shutout. Keep your starters in. But
2s and 3s, you cost the defense pizza this week. We would have fed the whole defense pizza for that shutout. Nope.
Well, I'm proud of all our kids. They all played, did well. Special teams, real quick, before we head into the second quarter, and our special guest, great special guest. Can't wait to announce that. But our special teams, we had the first extra points in school history. Mm-hmm. We made 4. Devin Floyd didn't find out he was kicking until Thursday, and he did a good job on the extra points. Our special team MVP was Patrick Hunter, a senior, hard-working guy. Doesn't play a lot of defense, but he's worked hard. He flew down the field and made several tackles, very physical. And then our specialist of the week, obviously, was Devin Floyd. So, all right, Gryphon's fans, we'll be back in the second quarter with our special guest. Stay where you're at. Don't leave.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Welcome back, Gryphon fans. I told you during the first quarter we had a special guest, and we do. We have Charles Skillet McDowell here. Since I've been here at Southwest for the last 4 years, if you said name one person on this entire campus that's been the biggest football fan and supporter, it's been Mr. McDowell. We are very fortunate to have him. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Coach.
We'll start this off pretty quick here. Tell us about what your role is and job title here is at Southwest.
Well, my job title here is Security Supervisor, and my role is just to make sure our kids are, doing what they need to be doing to try to get a quality education, as well as trying to keep them safe.
Have you seen an improvement over the last couple of years as far as our kids' behaviors?
I have. We get an overabundance of freshmen in, and this is probably our biggest class this year, and it's about just getting them, getting some cohesiveness to what we need to be doing as far as high school.
Okay.
All right. Well, you and I worked together at McClellan.
Oh, yes,
you were
sir.
one of the first people that welcomed me when I
Back
got
in
there.
the 60s or when
No.
was it?
No.
We
Come
had
on,
some
man.
hammers,
We
man.
ain't as old as you are. I've always appreciated that. We've had a great relationship together. But
Yes,
tell us a little bit about your background in sports. I know you've always supported everything. When we started wrestling at McClellan, you were one of our biggest supporters there. But what's your background in sports?
Coach, just what I did. Coming up, football was my favorite, and I played at Henderson in junior high. I played at Hall in high school, and I played for some good coaches. And it's just being around a bunch of guys that just wanted to get it. And that was one of the things.
Okay.
Skillet, when you played at Hall, did you get to play in the Turkey Day games?
No. Those were where I was younger in those games. I think they finished the last one in like '83.
Okay.
So that passed me. But we luckily we got to play playoff games as a ninth grader in high, in schools. When they introduced the rules. So that was a good thing. So I pretty much was like a 4-year guy at Hall.
And, talking to a lot of Hall alumni and people around here, especially during the choices and decisions, when Al Walker came out and talked to our team, they've all bragged on Skillet and his playing abilities. They said he was one of the softest, most finesse kickers that Little Rock Hall had. Is that the way you got? How'd you get your nickname?
No, sir. It actually comes from way back in Little League ball. This guy named Fred Williams, he played linebacker at Hall, and he carried on the tradition of wearing the number 63. My uncle wore it, Andy White wore it, and then he came along and he wore it. I almost got to wear it, but me being an underclassman, the senior got it, so I wasn't mad. So I took on a guy named Lance Frenchman's number, which was 54, and I kind of loved 54, being a Cowboys fan and Randy White guy. So I got that name from just putting it on you, man. I mean, if I hit you and I got a chance to hit you, you got hit.
It was like a skillet?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Lance Frenchman.
Y'all heard it here first.
Yes, sir.
You heard it here first.
Yes,
now.
sir.
Hey, tell us, now I know you spend a lot of time up here at Southwest.
Yes, sir.
What are some of your hobbies when you're not at Southwest?
Well, just spending time with my grandkids, man. I got 2 little 3-year-old twins. That's my heart, and just having been around the house with them, letting them do what they do, because everything they got is there. So they love being there.
Is there anything better than grandkids?
No, sir. No, sir.
I don't want to find out anytime soon.
I hear you, brother.
Right.
If my kids are listening, I don't want to find out anytime soon.
I hear you.
So, what's your favorite thing about Southwest? Beautiful facilities.
Oh yeah, state of the art, coach.
know.
I mean, just an example. ABC used our field 3 times last year, and those guys were just crazy. Just being in the locker room, I mean, and when they won, I think they got one of the wins out of the 3. They went crazy. They partied, man. I let them party,
Yeah.
But they didn't, they were respectful. They gave us great accolades about the facility. They said, man, this ought to be a college, and I said, well, I think it's one of the better facilities around, and against colleges.
I agree.
Kind of wrapping the second quarter up, and we'll go into the third quarter. The third quarter will be actually before that we'll start halftime, and one of the halftime MVTs this week is Charles Skillet McDowell.
Appreciate it.
And so we want to, on behalf of Chick-fil-A and the football team, we want to give you this certificate.
Yes, sir.
Right here.
Appreciate it.
And then we've got a Chick-fil-A gift card that we want to give you as well, too. And we really appreciate everything you do for our kids.
Yes, sir, Coach. I appreciate it.
We couldn't be the school that we are and have the atmosphere that we have without people like you
Yes, sir.
in charge, and so we're very proud of that. We'll be back in the third quarter. We're talking about our upcoming opponent, the Hot Springs Trojans, one of the top teams in the state in their classification. Last year we went down there and it wasn't pretty, so we've been very focused and we're ready to play. So stick around for the halftime MVT teachers, and then also the third quarter. See you in a sec.
So here we have our other recipient, Coach Johnson, as the Educator of the Week. Coach, how do you feel, and what are you going to do with that Chick-fil-A? Because I'd really like it.
It's an honor and a privilege, and I thank Coach Patton for this little light award. Appreciate that. He probably gave it to me after this big victory over the past weekend, but I thank him, and it's a guest for a breakfast sandwich, so I'll take it. Thank you.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back, Gryphon fans. I hope you enjoyed our MVTs for the week. Again, Skillet McDowell, awesome person. And then Charlie Johnson, he's been coaching for, I think, 75 years. He's been here longer than anybody in the state of Arkansas, but he does a great job with our girls basketball team. Okay, this week's opponent, Hot Springs Trojans. They're ranked in their classification. Very, very good football team. We've seen them all summer in 7-on-7. great passing attack, great team speed. Last year we went down to Hot Springs. They beat us 61-30. Really embarrassed us. I mean, they really did. And our kids, they've had a great week of practice. We're focused. It's gonna. We expect it to be a great game. It's going to be a blackout here at the game. We want our fans here in their black shirts cheering us on, and we'll be in all black uniforms. And so it should be a fun evening, fun night. Coach, talk to us about Hot Springs Trojans defense.
Coach, first thing that stood out to me on film is that they're sound. Coach Daryl Burnett is doing a great job down there in Hot Springs. Been down there for 5-6 years now. Mm-hmm. Like I said, he's doing a great job. So defensively, all 11 guys on defense, they fly to the football. They're not going to beat themselves. Okay, they're going to make you beat them. Guys that stand out to me, all 11 stand out to me. But number 11 on the D line, number 44, number 32. Okay, linebacker number 4. Okay, you have the secondary number 8. You have number 6, and you have number 5. I'm not trying to shut out anybody else that's on that defense because all 11. But those are the guys that really just stand out to me. One thing that also I've seen that they really believe in their D line, and so going into this game, Coach, I believe that it's their D line versus our O line. And so whoever controls the line of scrimmage, whoever is able to dominate the game, that's who will win.
Well, I think ball security. We got to protect the ball. We can't have turnovers. We've got to be able to take what they're giving us. They're a team that'll play a lot of man coverage, but they do a good job in their zone schemes. And our quarterback's got to be on his game. He's got to be on his game, take what we give him. Ball security, and I think if we do that and clean up our penalties, we've got a chance to have a good offensive night. Yes. But it's going to be a war Friday night.
Battle, Coach.
Coach, talk to us about Hot Springs offense.
Well, where do you start? Skill players everywhere. The quarterback is really who makes them go. He's a difference maker. Great quick release on the ball, gets rid of the ball fast. He's hard to put pressure on. We blitzed some last year and we're in his face, and he still threw the ball and completed it. He throws well on the scramble. You look at games that they played this year against Arkadelphia and Valonia. He scrambles and makes plays. The receivers on the outside, 0 and 1, 2 of the best we'll see all year. I mean, nobody in our conference, it'd be hard pressed to find 2 receivers that are this good on any team. The running back, number 13, hard runner, shifty, one-cut type guy. If he bounces it outside, he can take it to the house. And their offensive line is huge. It's a big challenge. They're really a tough offensive team. And you sit here and you say, well, what do you do? Well, you gotta commit to stopping the run. We're gonna have to load up the box. Take our chances on the edge, on the outside, do what we do. Play a little bit of man coverage and, try to lock those guys down and just put our best on their best and see what happens. Last year it didn't work for us.
Probably do a little more odd front, you think?
Yeah.
Go back to
that's
3-4.
That's what we do. That's what we do. We, you go back all the way back to North Little Rock. Odd front's what I believe in. That's what we do. That's who we are. We're a 3-4 defense. 3-3 stack like we ran against Rogers, and we just got to execute better.
Yeah.
It's not scheme. We got to put our kids in the right position, and like I said, to stop the run, we got to load the box. We don't have those road graders in the middle.
Yeah.
And so you got to move, you got to slant, you got to stunt. And if you're going to do that, you got to take chances. So we just got to hope our corners hold up.
Well, I'm proud of our corners. I'm proud of our defense. They've played the pass better this year.
Yeah.
Last year was not a fun night. They threw 9 touchdown passes. They've got some great skill kids and receivers, especially in quarterback, and they're all back. So we're going to see them again. So hopefully we play a lot better. They're going to score some points. But we can't have 61.
Well, and the thing about playing press man coverage, what we didn't do last year, we didn't get hands on them.
Yeah.
You watch the opening play of the game, they throw a 30-yard touchdown pass, and we don't touch him.
First two plays of the game.
Yeah, come back on the second one after a turnover. They throw another touchdown pass. We don't get a hand on him. You cannot play press man coverage without getting a hand on the receiver.
Right.
And that's, that's been our emphasis this year on our guys since spring. And, it helps that our receivers are tough to cover.
Yeah.
So we get some practice on it, but,
And then special team wise, we don't want to leave that out for sure. You're talking about scary. They've got skill guys back deep on returns. If you put the ball in their hands, they've got a chance to take it all the way. And then number 48 is their kicker. He does a good job. He's got a strong leg. And then number 9, their quarterback is their punter. So that scares the heck out of you because on every punt possibility, there's a fake that's involved. So it should be a fun night. I think it's going to be one of the top games in the state. I really do. I think it's going to be two teams evenly matched, fighting out for 48 minutes, and should be a good one. Stay with us. We'll be right back for the fourth quarter and look at some of our past opponents, future opponents, how they've done so far, who they're playing this week, and then we'll talk about some of the pick'ems,
All right.
some college and pro pick'ems. So be right back.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was looking at me?
Welcome back, Gryphon fans, to the fourth quarter. Talking a little bit about some of our past and future opponents and how they're doing. Rogers, they're 3-0. We thought they were good. They are good. They beat Farmington like 38-3. So they go into conference next week on a roll. Rogers Heritage, they're 1-2 after last week's game with us. They're open this week, and then Hot Springs, they're 2-0. They play us this week, and then they'll start conference. Coach, tell us about Conway, your fourth opponent.
Coach, them cats are rolling, Coach. I'm going to be honest with you. They played Springdale.
That makes you feel good.
Coach, I'm just saying, man. The Wampus cats, they're rolling. Because I do not, man. I'm a Southwest Gryphon. They played Springdale last week at home. Ended up controlling the whole entire game from start to finish, 48-0 on that game. And
Bucks got them rolling,
Coach, they're rolling. Probably the best team in the state right now.
They're the new number 1 team in the state, so that's huge. Coach, tell us a little bit about Cabot.
Well, Cabot played at Ruston, Louisiana. I don't know the result. I didn't check. I didn't look at any scores last week. I mean, the only ones I heard was when we were coming back. People were talking about it. To my Cabot friends over there that I know well, hey, sorry I didn't check on you. I don't know if you won or lost. Hopefully you won.
Coach, talk to us about North Little Rock.
North Little Rock. Coach, right now they're 0-2. This upcoming week they have Parkview. Parkview's coming off of a big win, right?
Yeah, and they're number 3, I think, in the state overall.
Yeah, Coach. They beat Bryant last week. I'm going Parkview easy.
Hey, this would be a big letdown spot though for the Patriots. Patriots beat the unbeatable team.
And North Little Rock beat them last year.
And North Little Rock beat them in overtime last year. But the thing is, Parkview went to Bryant last week, beat them. Beat them at the end. I think it was a blocked extra point, 128-27. Games like that, you got the 5A champ against the 7A champ. I mean, people say it's an upset. Who knows who's better?
Yeah.
I mean, both teams. Parkview had lost to Bryant and North Little Rock last year. That was their only losses. And then this year, they go in, they play Bryant and beat them by 1. So, I mean, those games like that, they can play each other 10 times and split them 5-5. You never know.
It was definitely a huge win for the Little Rock School District and Little Rock Parkview. And Jonesboro, they're 1-2 this so far. They're open this week. They went to a school in Mississippi last week, and I think it was a pretty close game. I think the team from Mississippi won towards the end. But they're open this week. Coach, tell us about Central.
Coach Robinson and Central Tigers, they ended up playing Bentonville West last week. Wasn't a good game from start to finish at all. Hopefully they can get it going. But this upcoming week, they have an open week. So hopefully they use this week to get better.
And a little bit about Central. I mean, it's tough. It's tough right now. Coach Robinson's doing a great job. He's a really good young coach, and he's doing a fabulous job over there. They got the numbers up. You can see some of the school pride and spirit coming back. Just like what we're trying to do here, they're doing the same thing. They want to help make these young men to become better people than players. Yes. And so all the things they're doing is really nice. And the wins are going to come. Just hopefully not against us week 9. But and Northside, they're 0-3 and they're open this week before they start conference play. The top 10 shuffle, a little bit of a shuffle this week. Wow. You got Conway as the new number 1 team in the state. Bryant falls all the way to 4th, which is the lowest they've been in 7 years. And then you got Rogers number 6, and then you got Cabot still in the top 10 at number 8. So 4 of our 10 opponents are in the top 10. So that's tough. If you want to beat the best, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And that's what our
Bryant is still Bryant.
They are.
They lost by 1 point, and people are writing them off and saying, Buck James left, the dynasty's over. That's bull. Those guys are good. They got great coaching staff over there. I mean, hey, I'd love nothing else for them to lose every game they play, but you got to respect what they've done, and to sit here and say that they're not in the mix, that's crap.
That's crazy.
It very well could be 2 Central Conference teams playing for it all, in December.
Very well could be. All right, let's talk a little bit of some college football. Okay, we got Colorado State. You got 3 seconds. Who wins?
Colorado.
All
right. Hey, everybody's on Coach Prime, baby.
Coach Colorado will be pimp walking that sideline.
Let's talk a little bit about Tennessee, Florida.
Okay, I'm going with Florida at home. Florida. Got Florida at home.
You are right.
Coach, they're in the swamp, Coach. They're in the
swamp is like a little pond nowadays.
Yeah,
Who you got, Coach?
Rocket time! You'll always be.
Oh, man. LSU, Mississippi State.
I think LSU gets it together. They're on the road at Mississippi State, I believe. So LSU.
Yeah, Mississippi State should have lost last week. They can't play with LSU.
Does anything good ever come out of Mississippi State? Coach Redmond, sorry, bud. Sorry. I don't know. What's the last game? The last game we'll talk about on college is
Arkansas
BYU.
Go Hawks. Who pig?
Who
pig?
Just
say it. Say who pig.
No, man, their offensive line is terrible. They couldn't block us. Cougars, man. Cougars by 3.
Oh, boy. Well, let me just say this about Arkansas and BYU. I remember not so long ago, Arkansas would play bad and lose. Everybody was upset. Arkansas was playing bad, but guess what? They're 2-0. So I'm going to pick the Hogs to win at home, and they may not play well, but they're going to find a way to get the job done. We've got to wrap this up. We've got one NFL game.
Is Aaron Rodgers done?
Aaron Rodgers is out.
Yeah.
Out.
Is he retiring, or what is he doing here?
We don't know.
I don't know. Let's talk about the Jets and the Cowboys. Who wins this one?
Cowboys, man. They 40 points, 40-0 against the Giants, Coach. I mean, that's a big. Two defensive touchdowns. I'm going with the Cowboys.
Not so fast, man.
Come on.
Hey, that Jets defense, let me tell you something. The time that Zach Wilson has spent around Aaron Rodgers will have matured him as a quarterback. He's already, I think he's started, 12, 13 games already.
Right.
So he's got NFL experience. He has started in the NFL. You still got Aaron Rodgers in the quarterback room. You still got Aaron Rodgers on the headset. You got Aaron Rodgers in his ear talking reads. You got him. So now if, you find out who Aaron Rodgers is now. If he's unselfish and will help this young player develop, the Jets have a chance to win games because their defense is solid. It may be one of the best defenses that's been in the NFL. So I'm going to say the Jets. Jets. Jets.
I'm going to say this. That Jet defense is really good. I also know how the Cowboys track record shows. I'm going to pick the Jets. I think
my goodness.
If the Jets were going to fold, they would have done it last Thursday.
I agree.
When Rogers went out, they had a chance to quit.
They had an
And they had an excuse, and they fought
Not
back.
so fast.
And that
It's defense. Let me tell you something. That Zach will.
Enthusiasm, their head coach. I'm picking Jets. Gryphon Nation, that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed our show. Again, Gryphon Nation YouTube channel if you want to watch it. It's good stuff. We'll see you next week.